Good afternoon and welcome back to another video by the Last Week's blog. It is not James Hawkins, it is not Reese Hurd, it is me, Don Ballard, for the first time, and today I'm going to be reviewing the game at Charlton yesterday, previewing Fleetwood on Saturday and answering some questions that were sent in last night and this morning. So I'll kick straight on. Yesterday's game at Charlton, if any of you follow me on Twitter and any social media, you would have seen my feelings on the game. It was just embarrassing, to be honest. We started off okay, first 10-15 minutes. I thought we had a good foothold in the game. We were passing around well. We didn't let Charlton expose us too much. And yeah, we had a good chance with McDonald. He shanked it wide, unluckily. You know, if that was Friday, he would have put it away. It's just one of those things. It happens for us or it doesn't. And then well, from that minute onwards, Charlton got their foothold in the game and started pressuring us. Played some decent football, I felt, and then obviously they got that corner. I was at the back of the stand and I just couldn't believe the marking that was there. I was seeing it back this morning in the highlights, and Quigley is marking their centre half, who ends up headering it in, and he just gets completely jumped out for, and it's like you just sit there and you standing there and thinking, it's just so easy. And at the time I did think Holy could have done a bit better, but then you think when your target man's coming back to defend a corner, you know, you'll have a bit more protection when the ball's up in the air. Evidently not, because it's Joe Quigley and he doesn't jump for anything. But we'll move on from that. And their second goal, I was really disappointed with Aimer yesterday. I thought he really let the team down. Both the second and third goal, really. I mean, the second goal, their players avoided dacking a challenge. Referees played an advantage, and then Aimer's just stood there, hung a leg out, and brought him down. And that was really frustrating to see. I mean, you're the captain of the side, and you're just dangling a leg out. You should be putting your body on the line. You should be rushing out there to try and get the ball, not just dangling a leg out. And obviously, from the free kick they scored, don't take nothing away from the finish. We know what Ricky Holmes is about. He'd done it for time and time again for Northampton last year when they won the league. And yeah, and we were 2-0 down at half-time, and I just didn't see a way back for us at all. Second half, he made some changes. Parker and Donnelly came on for Quigley and Cornick. The second game in a row that they've been substituted. They shouldn't be starting in the first place, to be honest. Anyway, but we'll move on to that a bit later. They came on. I thought Parker put in a real good shift, considering he's a striker by name and nature. He was playing wing back, so I thought he'd done well. I thought he got forward, created a few chances, and probably was in the top 3 yesterday of best players. And he only played 45 minutes. I think that just sums up the entire performance. And as for Donnelly, he was just his usual self. He tried and tried, but nothing came off for him. And it was just the second half really where Charlton could just sit back and sort of defend their lead quite easily, because we weren't going to create anything dangerous for them. I mean, all the possession we did have in the second half, I know AD said that we played well and dominated the second half, but that's only because Charlton knew they had the game sewn up in the first half, and they just sat back, broke when they needed to break, held possession when they needed to, and then it was just easy for them. And that's a prime example of their third goal. I mean, Ricky Holmes ran about 50 yards from his own half to the byline, and Amos just literally walked along with him, holding his hand. And that's why I was annoyed with Aimer for the third goal as well. I mean, just like stick a foot in. Like, it's not rocket science. I mean, like, or just hold him off and like wait for support and get someone else to come in and make it a 2-on-1 situation for yourselves. And obviously then Jackson came and slipped, and then obviously then the third goal goes in and it's absolutely dead and buried. I think the second half was just there was just nothing going right for us. I mean, we couldn't even string a few passes together at some stages. I mean, the ball was going out of play from every opportunity. I mean, Martin got down the byline about 3 or 4 times, just crossed it out of play, and that was probably the reason why when he got substituted, he got absolutely ripped a new one by us. I mean, he hasn't been good for a few games. He's not done too much. Like when he first came back, we all thought, yeah, you know, Lee Martin's back. He's going to create some chances. He's going to like maybe improve us going forward. But yesterday he was really, really poor. He was probably one of the worst players on the pitch, and was rightfully substituted in the end. But no, it's just I wasn't happy. I think we missed Burn. We really missed Burn yesterday. Obviously because for some stupid reason, Pennock put Dak in the holding role. I mean, Dak was Player of the Year last year, playing in the number 10 role, and he's been put holding midfielder. Yeah, nice one, Pennock. Genius, yes. And you could tell he was frustrated by playing. I mean, he was pushing right and Hessenthaler to support Cody and quickly, and Rory and for the first bit of the second half, Rory and Cody. And we all know what Hessenthaler just passes backwards or sideways. He's like the Michael Carrick of League One. But Wright obviously been pushed forward because he's been scoring goals lately. He's probably the most confident player out there. But I think the tactical decisions and the whereabouts of where players were playing was a key factor as to why we didn't do anything yesterday or created much to try and win the game yesterday. And what else can we do? It's just you're standing there in the stands and you just see the same stuff week in, week out, and you're getting frustrated and you're thinking, like, why can't we just do something a bit different? Why can't we change it up properly? Like, do something a bit different. And we all know it's not going to happen under Pennock because he seems to fascinate in playing this system, the same players, despite them not playing very well for about 2 or 3 weeks, and it's just the same old. But on a whole, I think Charlton deserved to win 3-0. I wouldn't say we apart from Cody's chance, did we deserve to score a goal? Not really. I think the quote by Pennock saying that it's the best we've played in a while is an absolute myth. All the play we had was just in our half and the first third of Charlton's half, and it weren't really like dangerous play. We weren't getting balls into the box, absolutely bombarding their keeper with save after save or corner after corner. It was just passing hopeful crosses to anyone in the box. But yeah, really disappointed with yesterday. But I'll kick on with predicting what I think should happen against Fleetwood on Saturday. Well, obviously we know Fleetwood are going to be right up for it. They're challenging to try and get the last automatic place. Bolton play tonight against Bury. Hopefully they do us a favour. Fingers crossed. I know they lost to Oldham on Saturday, which didn't help us out at all. But we all know what Fleetwood are about. I went up to the Fleetwood game and they're a good passing side. They know how to deal with pressure really well. And Uwe Rosler's got them playing really good football, and that's why they're third in the league and hadn't lost in 20 games or something earlier in the season. But I don't know what to expect really Saturday. I don't think Fleetwood would even rest players depending on Bolton's result today, because the key thing in the playoffs is having the second leg at home, and they will need that second leg at home. I don't think they want to go to Bradford away on a second leg or something, or Millwall away on a second leg, because they're not going to take many fans there on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Saturday or a Sunday, whatever day it'll be. So they're going to be desperate if they can't get that playoff promotion place for the second leg to be at home. So I think they'll stick with a strong team and they'll come right at us like they have done for the last 6-7 months. In terms of us, I think we have to win. Simple as that. We have to go out and win the game. It's just, will we do so? I don't know. I never know with us really anymore. It's going to be difficult to say the least. They're going to be, as I said, they're going to be really up for the game. But what I would change some things on Pennock's side. I mean, he substituted Cornick and Quigley the last 2 games because they've been dreadful. There's no two ways about it. They've been awful. So would I start Parker? Yes, I would start Parker up top with McDonald. But in the right wing back position, I would maybe bring Jackson back out of the back 3, bring Raymond back in. And I would like to keep. I think he's going to keep the back 5. Would I keep it? No. But that's what I think Pennock will go with, and obviously he will go with it. But that is what I would do if I was in Pennock's shoes. But I think if Bernie's fit as well, definitely bring him back in for Hessenthaler. I don't know what. I really praised Hessenthaler last season. Like, he got really stuck in. He was superb. Probably in our top 5 last season of players. I mean, he got assists. He was brilliant in the. He did the little things and the dirty things correct. But this year, he's been an out and out of the team. When he's come back in the team, he's not sort of said to us, "Oh, this is why I should be in the team. This is why I'm proving myself I should be in this team." Because he hasn't done anything like special, and I think that's why Burns came in the last few months, because I think Burns offered more quality in there. And as I've said before, I think Burns probably been our best player the last 2 months since he's come back in, along with Wright and Cody. But that's what I'm hoping for. So obviously keep Holy in goal. A back three of Deji, Aymer, Raymond, wing backs Martin and Jackson. Midfield pairing of Wright and Byrne, Dak in behind with Parker and Cody up front. That's what I want to see on Saturday. Predictions wise, we normally do well against the teams that are higher up in the league, which would be typical Gillingham would be to obviously lose 3-0 yesterday, then go and beat Fleetwood and save our League One status, with hopefully results going our way again. But I don't think we will win. I think Fleetwood, as I said, they're going to be up for it. So I think Fleetwood will win 2-1 maybe. 2-1. I think it'd be a close encounter, but I think Fleetwood are just edge it quality-wise. But yeah, it's all looking doom and gloom again. It's now looking like we're going to go to Sixfields on the final day, and we're going to need maybe a point to stay up or a win to stay up or something ridiculous like that. And we all know how that will end up. I mean, just look at Wickham when we last got relegated. When we got relegated before from League One, we needed a point there, and we got beaten 3-0. It's just typical Gillingham Football Club at the end of the day. But obviously we've got to remain positive, or try to remain positive, get beyond the boys on Saturday, and just hope. Right, so I'll kick off with some questions that have been sent in last night, early this morning. We'll start off with Lewis Browning, who says, if we change from the wing-back system, what do we go to? I think it's quite a simple one for me. There's a young lad in the youth team called Aaron Simpson, who's actually the captain of the youth team, just been offered a professional contract. He is our only fit left-back at the club, with Garmston being injured and us letting Konchesky go. I think that's a no-brainer that you bring him in. I don't care if he's 16, 17. I don't know how old he is, but I don't care what age he is. I would sooner see him playing in his natural position than having Deji or Martin playing left back out of position, because it's just an absolute weakness. It's a weakness for us. We get torn a new one down the sides because we don't play players in their natural positions. So I would bring him straight in, and obviously then I would just play a wide diamond at home, and maybe something a bit more defensive away. So obviously I'd stick with Holy in goal, put Jackson back out of right back. I think it'd be a toss-up between Aymer, who's obviously going to play because he's the captain, and it'd be just a Aymer or Raymond, not Aymer, Deji or Raymond, who partner him. But obviously Simpson will need a lot of protection. Obviously he'll be coming into his first professional game. So that's what I would do. And obviously I'd then drop Wright into the holding role. We know he can play there. I know many of us don't think he can play there, but I would sooner have one player maybe a bit out of position but knows how to play it than having about 3 or 4 players out of position in the whole team. Obviously, I'll push Martin forward to left wing. I think we would see a better side of Martin playing left wing. I know left wing back isn't his position. It's blatantly obvious. I mean, he's came back from injury really quickly, which is obviously a good thing. It's another body, but he's a left winger, and you can tell when he's playing, with that 60 minutes gone, 70 minutes gone, you can tell he's absolutely knackered from going up and down the pitch, like trying to defend, attack. And then when attack breaks down, he's so slow to get back because he's just absolutely shattered. But then obviously right wing, I would maybe go Elliot List. Obviously, I don't think we're going to see Wagstaff again this season. I think that's pretty clear. Or someone with any genuine outlet of pace on the right would be good to get at the defence. I think it's important, and we've not seen it for a while. We've not had overlapping in our team for a while, and I think that's a really good thing to have when you're at home and you're attacking teams. You want 2 men going at their full back, because it's going to cause problems. Obviously, then I'd keep Dak behind the strikers. We all know that's his best position. He should be playing there, not holding midfield like yesterday. Stupid. And obviously, then I'd keep Cody up front and then bring Parker in, because I don't think Quigley's good enough at all. He just doesn't do it for me. I mean, he's 6'4", good size about him, and he just doesn't use his height or his body to his advantage. So well, that's what I would do personally. Obviously, away from home, I'd change it up a bit. Maybe go to a 4-2-3-1. Maybe bring a Burn or a Hesson Tyler in to help right out in the middle, and then just leave Cody up top on his own because we know he can do it on his own. We've seen it enough times this season when he's grabbed games at the scruff of the neck when he's been up top on his own. So that's what I would probably do in that situation if we had to change anything. We'll move on. Lee Clifton says, where did I sit at Charlton yesterday and what are my thoughts on allocated seating? It's not a good subject of mine. I can't stand it. I hate it. I mean, would you go into a shop to buy a box of strawberries and the guy behind the counter says, you can't buy that box, you've got to buy that box? You'd be like, no, why have I got to do that? You pick your strawberries because you want that strawberry, you know what I mean? So I think allocated seating is just a bit of a joke, really. I mean, when there's 200 of us at Bury, you don't see people like moaning about where they're sitting then. So why should it be any different for when it's 2,000 of us at Charlton? I just think it causes unnecessary stress. I don't think stewards particularly like the stress of like telling people where to go and then having to deal with like the consequences of it, of people arguing, oh, that's my seat, you know. I think it's just a pointless attribute to the game. I'd abolish it completely. It's just a waste of time. So I'll move on from that to Josh Keeble-Wells. He says, what do I make of the Dak situation? I think the thing with Dak is he was player of the year last year. Absolutely was fantastic. So he's sort of the catalyst of what we're about. And this season, he's been unlucky with injuries, and obviously he's not been aided with a few antics off the pitch. I know a few people have seen him out drinking in gallery and all sorts, and that's not what you want to see as a fan when you're in a relegation battle and with the position we're in. You want to see him focused, head on the game, and I think that's probably why people were getting a bit angry with him and sort of like hitting out at him because they know on his day he's our best player without a doubt. I don't care what anyone says, out of form or not, he's our best player, and that's why we rejected $2.5 million for him in the summer. He's our best player. He's what we are about, and when he's on form, this whole team is on form. But when he's not on form, we struggle because he's not creating, he's not getting in positions, and obviously when he came back from injury and he started getting in those positions, we were playing a better team. But the little dismissal, MK Don sort of derailed that a bit, and that's probably aided to the hate and I wouldn't say hate, probably just anger towards him lately because. That's not what you want to see when you're in a relegation battle. You want to see your best players out there playing for the shirt, and it's just a silly thing to get sent off for. But it's in the past now. We can't change that or anything. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Dak situation. Lewis Gibbons says, "Can I see us winning against Fleetwood and Northampton?" No. As much as I want to be positive and say, yeah, we'll win both games easily, I don't think we're going to. I don't think Saturday is going to be a absolute easy task for us. Going to be a absolute easy task for us. Fleetwood, as I said earlier, they're going to want that second leg in the playoffs at home if they can't reach the automatic places. That is a big thing for them. We know they're a small team. They're not going to take thousands to like a Millwall or Bradford on a Tuesday, Wednesday night or whenever the legs are being played. So they want that second leg at home. I'm sure Uwe Rosler's probably striding towards that if Bolton win today. So yeah, that's what I'd say about the Fleetwood game. Northampton, if we go to Northampton needing a point or a win, we won't get it. I think we've seen it enough times with Gillingham that if we go to a final day and we need something from the game, we don't get it. Leeds, Nottingham Forest, Stoke, what Wickham more recently we've not produced. We needed a point at Wickham, we lost 3-0 and they were already relegated. So if that doesn't sum up our bottle on the final day of a season, then I don't know what does. So that's my thoughts on the Northampton game. And then another question from Josh Keeble-Wells. He says, thoughts on fans chanting we are staying up in the pub even though we're not safe. The only thing I'll say about it is that is we were all pissed. You get deluded when you're pissed. Yeah, we were pissed and that's it. I'll move on from that. Alistair Clark says, who would win in a fight between Dak and Ossa Davey? I would say Dak probably, because Ossa Davey's like Bambi on ice. One punch he'd be slipping all over the floor. So we'll move on from that question. I think that answers that pretty swiftly. Next one from Robin says, what does Mbo have to do to get into the team, and what are we going to lose by putting him in the team? I don't know what he's got to do, personally. I mean, the last 2 years he's got over 25 goals in the youth team. I know it's a different kettle of fish to professional football, but I'm sure the fans would prefer to see him up front than Quigley, so I think we'd probably get more out of him. I mean, we've seen the praise he's been given. That's why he's been offered a 1-year deal. So that's probably why I don't see what we'd lose in playing him. I mean, what do we have to lose? I mean, if he scores a goal and then he feels confident, isn't he? Then the fans are behind him. But you know, one thing with the youngsters, if they do come in to this situation we're in now, is you know that they're going to run their heart out because they've got a point to prove. They want to show that they're going to play for the shirt, and I think we wouldn't have anything to lose from that. But I don't think we'll see Mbo this season. I don't even think we'll see him at Northampton, even if we're safe. Because I think Pennock will be going out to win that game just because Edinburgh's at Northampton. Sorry. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Mbo situation. We'll move on. Next question is from Mark, also known as Boz. It was bad yesterday, but does singing "We're shit and we know we are" at all help? In the moment, no, it doesn't. I mean, it was sung at Coventry when we were 2-0 down. It doesn't help the situation at all. But I think we've seen it too many times this season. We've gone into a big game and we've just shown up and just played like that. I think it's not a case of trying to make the situation worse. It's sort of saying to the players and the management, like, we've paid our money, we've come and supported again 2,000 fans yesterday, and they've produced that kind of performance in a big game, a local derby, which means a lot to us fans. And we all knew if we would have won yesterday, we would have been practically safe. So I think that is probably why it was sung. I mean, as I said earlier, there's been a lot of people drinking, so they're going to be a bit more aggressive and say what they want, not really thinking about it. So yeah, it all ties in, but it doesn't help. But sometimes you just look at things and you think maybe it is a bit justified. So that's my thoughts on that. James Pemble then says, thoughts on the boozer and should I use it more? Well, the way we play, absolutely. You should probably just stay in the boozer. Yeah, it was good. Beer was good. Songs were good. Can't moan about that, but it doesn't beat the Blue Boar at Southend. That's all I can have to say on that matter. Another one from Boz. He says, all right, Dak hasn't been the same player this season, but was there any need to single him out? No, there wasn't. There was no need. I think he's one of the few that generally do care about this club and wants to do best for this club. I think the people that did start on him perhaps, are aiming towards him. As I said earlier, he's our best player and he's the catalyst of what we do, and he's not been at his best. So he's going to be the number one target for when we're not winning games or not playing well, because everything goes through him. Obviously, that's not a nice thing for Dak to have. And we all know he's a bit frustrated with things at the moment. You only got to look at his likes on Twitter to see that. But I don't think it was fair on Dak. I think there's a lot worse performers out there than Dak yesterday who probably should have got a bit more stick than he did. So that's my thoughts on that. Georgie Boxall, is Pennock a footballing genius? No, Adi Pennock is not a footballing genius. He is a footballing retard. Thank you. Next one. Andy Ridgers, how were the chips? They were simply superb. The best part of the day. Really good. Josh did a very good job of the salt and ketchup on the chips. Not too much, not too little. So they went down a nice treat and set me up nicely for when I got home. And the next one is from Marky G. Are Cornick and Quigley contracted to start fit? And what is my thought on the reaction Lee Martin got from supporters yesterday? Are Cornick and Quigley actually match fit? I don't think so. I mean, even Pennock said yesterday the reason why he took them off is because they've just come back from injuries. I think I've touched on this before. If you do follow me on social media, we've heard the excuse. The reaction Lee Martin got from supporters yesterday. Are Cornick and Quigley actually match fit? I don't think so. I mean, even Pennock said yesterday, the reason why he took them off is because they've just come back from injuries. I think I've touched on this before. If you do follow me on social media, we've heard the excuse that we had to get bodies in on deadline day. But my point is there not any youngsters out there in the Championship or Premier League that are on the same wage as Cornick and Quickly that are fit and want to play? Why didn't we go out and sign them instead? I mean, we've had to wait 2 months for Quickly, nearly 3. I think it's nearly 2 or 3 for Cornick to come back in, and that's 2 bodies down. That's 2 players' wage. Like, I know we're not paying their wages, but that's 2 players' wages that we could. Yeah, that's 2 or 3. That's 2 players' wages that we could have been using on 2 other people who could have had more impact on us. Could have came straight in and maybe got a few assists or got a few goals, and maybe we'd have been higher up the table. But no, we decided to sign 2 injured players. 2 players knowing fully well they were injured. Another genius idea from the footballing genius that is A.D. Pennock. So I'll move on from that. Another question from Mark E.G. He says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how unstable is our support? I saw a man threaten to kill the Lino yesterday and wish death on Carl Robinson. Well, I think my opinion on some of our fans is quite well known. I don't like a good few of them. Most of them are a bit, temperamental. I know we all have all our own opinions, but you just think sometimes they blind in what they're seeing. I think that's a bit funny. Wish threatening to kill the Lino. Surprised it wasn't the referee, because he was worse than probably some of our players' performance yesterday. But no, I wouldn't read too much into it. I mean, there's frustrations are going to be high in a game like yesterday. So I wouldn't really read too much into that. It happens at football. You say things that you don't mean. It just happens, don't it? So that's what I'd say on that matter. Next one is from Nick the Greek. He says, I listened on Gill's player for the first 15 and it sounded good. What went wrong? Cody missing that chance was big from that first 10-15 minutes of the first half. If we went 1-0 up, we would have maybe settled a bit more, and Charlton would have got a bit nervous. Because before yesterday, they won, I think, 2 in 16. So a goal could have really changed the aspect of the game for us. But since that chance, it sort of went downhill for us, as I said earlier in the review of the Charlton game. They got a foothold, obviously got the corner, went 1-0 up, and it was just a stroll in the park from there, really, which wasn't helped by a few individuals not being really bothered and just being lazy in what they're doing. So, that's probably where it went wrong. From Cody's chances just went really downhill for them. And I'm not blaming Cody for that. I mean, we saw what he did on Friday. I mean, without him, we wouldn't have won that game. But like most games this season, if we've won without him scoring or without him playing, we wouldn't have won those games. We probably would have been relegated by now. So that's probably what I'd sum up that question to be, like that. So and he asked another question. He says, what's Pennock got against playing players in their actual positions? I really don't know. I don't know what goes on in his head. I don't know what he thinks up on the training pitch or thinks up before kick-off when predicting the lineup. It's like he's got Jamie Day standing there with a hat, and he's got names in the hat, and he just picks the name out of the hat and goes, "Oh, Lee Martin, you're right wing back. Muldoon, left wing back. Yeah, okay." I don't know what he's got against it. I mean, as I said earlier, for Lewis Browning's question, what would I change? And that would be bringing Aaron Simpson in to play left back. I don't see what harm it would do. As I said, I'd rather see a player playing in his actual position, despite him being a youngster, than having, I don't know, Lee Martin playing left back, Deji left back, because it's just an absolute disaster. And that is the reason why we've been losing games, putting square pegs in round holes. Another question from Nick. He says, if we stay up, what's in store for us next season? If it's under Adrian Pennock, we will go down. No, absolutely no doubt in my mind we will go down next season. You can only see from the style of football and Pennock's win ratio being 21% that we will really struggle next season. And I mean, I know we've apparently not had the money there for him to actually make any big signings or any game-changing signings, but as I said earlier, like signing 2 injured players on loan, knowing they're fully well injured, when you could just go out and get maybe 2 other players for the same wage. It doesn't fill you with optimism. It doesn't fill you with joy, and you look at it and you think, like, are you really stupid or something? Yeah. So next season, I think next season we'll lose Dak as well. I think he's got to go. I don't want him to go, obviously, because he's our best player, but I think he's got to move on. He's got to pursue. We know what he's about. We know he's a championship player on his day, and I think it's about time we let him go and let him pursue what he wants to do. And that's not down to him like not wanting to be here anymore. It's down to him, us being fans and saying, yeah, okay, thank you for your service. You've done well for us. Do what you can and show what you can do in the leagues above, and hopefully you go to the very top, because we all know we all think he can. And in the right team under the right manager. So that's what I'd say about next season. Italian Jill, he says, do I think we'll beat Fleetwood, as we tend to do better against the teams at the top? As I said in my preview, I don't think we will. As I keep saying, they want that second leg to be at home in the playoffs. It's crucial for them that they get that. And I think Uwe Rosler is going to just sit up as he usually does against any other team. They're going to go out to win the game. And obviously, as I said earlier, I saw what they were like earlier this season at their place, well organised, a good passing team. So I don't think we'll beat Fleetwood. No, sad to say, but I just think they'll have a bit too much for us on the day. Next question, again, another one from Lee Clifton. If we stick with this system, do I think Elliot Liss deserves a chance? Absolutely. I think when Elliot Liss came on in the season before, under Edinburgh as well, he's looked a bright spark. He's probably one of the only players in this team that actually wants to take on a man and run at a man and take them on. When we lost 5-0 at Scunthorpe, he came on and he was probably in our top 3 players, even though he played about 10 minutes. That's how bad we were on the day, but he wanted to take on players and create chances. I think he deserves a chance, but will he probably have a bit too much for us on the day? Next question, again, another one from Lee Clifton. If we stick with this system, do I think Elliot Liss deserves a chance? Absolutely. I think when Elliot Liss came on in the season before, under Edinburgh as well, he's looked a bright spark. He's probably one of the only players in this team that actually wants to take on a man and run at a man and take them on. When we lost 5-0 at Scunthorpe, he came on and he was probably in our top 3 players, even though he played about 10 minutes. That's how bad we were on the day, but he wanted to take on players and create chances. I think he deserves a chance, but will he get the chance? Probably not under Adrian Pennock, no, because he hasn't got a clue. So that's what I'd say on that matter. Another one from Jill's Debate. He says, thoughts on Pennock playing Dak in the holding midfield role with right behind the strikers? Stupid. It just sums. If you want something to sum Adrian Pennock's tenure up, it's that. Dak got 14 goals last year, loads of assists, and what does Pennock decide to do? He plays him out of position in the holding midfield role, and this bloke's known around here for being a footballing genius. I don't think so at all. It's just stupid. We know Dak plays his best football behind the strikers. That's where you get him into the game. That's where you want him to be. But obviously, with Adrian Pennock being as he is, playing him in the holding role was just it's baffling. That's probably a good reason or a contribution as to why we lost yesterday, because he's playing people out of position, as he has been since he's been here. So that's why we are where we are. I'll move on. Lewis Howard, he says, is it time for Pennock to go? What do I think? Who do I think we will give contracts to next season? Yeah, it's time for Pennock to go. I said it before we even won back-to-back against Bury and I think Rochdale and Bury. It's just awful. It is truly, truly terrible. You can see why he's not had a job higher than the conference before now. I mean, he got sacked from Forest Green in the playoffs. I mean, you get sacked for a reason if you're in the playoffs. But because Adrian Pennock was a good player in the late 90s, early 2000s, it seems like some fans are immune from criticism, which is absolutely ridiculous because you're paid to manage, you're paid to be a tactician, you're paid to do well and win games, and he's got a 21% win ratio. That's not a man who should be in a job. 21% win ratio, 19 games, 4 wins. Is that good enough for this football club? No, it isn't. He shouldn't be here, not at all. Onto the contract side of things, I think it is essential we give Cody a new deal. Absolutely. He's probably up with Wright as my player of the year because he's Mr. Gillingham. He plays for the shirt. He wants to win. He's still got the hunger. I know he's getting old. He's 31 now, but he's on I think 13, 14 goals this season, and he's been up top on his own for most of the season. So absolutely give Cody McDonald a new deal. Other players, I'd release Donnelly. Parker can join him. Muldoon can be flung in the River Red, mate, for all I care. I don't want him in a Gillingham shirt again. Raymond, I don't want him here next season. I think it's a bit of a panic signing, really. We needed someone. We were crying out for experience, and we've just picked him up from, I don't know where he come from, Asia or somewhere, isn't it? I think so. I'd let him go. I'd give Osadebe a new deal. Osadebe's people that know me and follow me will know that my opinion on Emmanuel Osadebe isn't too keen, but he's probably the only player in this team with genuine pace and drive. I mean, last Friday when he came on, he was running his heart out. He nearly scored that goal that he did against Bury last season if the ball didn't go out of play. So I would give him a new deal. He's still young. I think under the right manager he'd do a lot better. I mean, he did well under Edinburgh. I don't think under this manager, under Pennock, he's going to flourish at all. Because he'll probably end up playing him centre half or something ridiculous like that, because that's Adrian Pennock. So I'll give Osadebe a new deal. Any more out of contract players? Jackson, he's touch and go. Last year he was really good. This year not been so good. But I think since he's been playing in the back three system next to Aymer, Raymond and Deji, I think he's done all right. I think it maybe suits him a bit more. He's not as exposed, maybe, because he's got two people beside him, and he's obviously the right wing back beside him, and then Aymer beside him as well, so he's a bit more protected. And I think, as we saw yesterday, balls over the top, if Aymer couldn't deal with Jackson was there to cover him and did really well to acrobatically keep their striker out for going one-on-one. So he's a tough one. I think it'd be a 50-50 in the summer with regards to if he'll stay or not. Other players out of contract, I think I may have covered all of them, I think. Elliot List. I would definitely keep Elliot List. I think he's got something to offer. I think there's a good few of players that need to just get out of the club. I think it's gone a bit sour with some players, and I think there is better quality out there for what we're paying people. So I would keep in the summer out of contract. I'll keep Cody, List, Oldacre, and that is probably it really. So that's that. Sam Johnston says, what are my thoughts on Ollie Muldoon? And he's chucking in the river. Simple as that. Probably one of the worst players I think was put on a Gillingham shirt. Simple as that. So I'll move on swiftly from Muldoon, as I'll get a bit annoyed with him. John Murphy says, will we see academy players involved next season under Pennock if he's here? If you mean our academy players, maybe. I think there's a good few that should be in the team, in and around the team. Oldacre being one of them, who's just been completely frozen out of the team. Why? We've got Muldoon, that's why. I think we'll see a few. I think maybe Embo might get his chance next year, depending on who we do bring in. If you're talking about academy players from other teams, we all know what Pennock said about academy football. It's the devil. It's not good. It's too fancy. You need men in your team. They need something in the nether regions. So, we all know for clubs at our level, we have to sign youngsters because that's part of the deal. We can't sign a load of experienced players because that's too much on the wage book. If you can get 3 youngsters for the price of 1 experienced player, you're gonna get the 3 youngsters. That's 3 bodies. So we'll obviously see academy players from definitely our side, and obviously Premier League Championship teams definitely in and around our team next season. So that's absolutely a certainty for me. Next question. Owen Stanley says, "What's Pennock's worst 3 decisions?" Signing the contract at first, but no, I'll be serious. Probably, I think two are signings. I'd say number one, signing Cornick and Quigley, knowing fully well they're injured. As I said earlier, stupid. It's not like there's no players out there that are the same age and on the same age, and same wage as Quigley and Cornick, and we couldn't get them in, but they're not injured. There's no excuse for that. We were just stupid, and it really sums up our season. It's like the Ngala situation. I know the club didn't know, but it's just one of those things. You just look at it and you just got to laugh. You just think, like, wow, it just sums up our season really. And obviously, next decision, signing Muldoon. I mean, we shipped out Billy Knott, who I thought who came here with a promise that he'd be playing the 10 role because we all thought Dak was leaving. Everyone at the club thought Dak was leaving. Obviously, that didn't materialise, and he's had to play a bit deeper like he did at Bradford. And we've obviously shipped him out to sign Muldoon. I don't see what Muldoon offers that Billy Knott doesn't. Well, Muldoon doesn't offer anything, but Billy Knott should be here without a question. I know he's doing all right now. He's doing okay at Lincoln. Obviously, they're coming up next year. So, what happens next year if we go down and Lincoln come up and we're in the same league? What happens to Billy Knott? Does he go to Lincoln? Does he stay here? For me, I'd like him to stay here, no matter what league we're in. We should do all we can. Because we know Dak's going to be leaving. I think that's pretty certain. So maybe we'll see Billy Knott in his best position, playing as the number 10. So yeah, that's probably the second worst decision Pennock's made. And number 3, I would say what he says in the press, like his decision making in the press, like some of the things he comes at is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, publicly bombarding the players, then says like in the week building up to games, oh yeah, we're all in this together. Like his press conferences are an absolute joke, and I think Gill's debate used the good examples of Pennock's last few interviews with Forest Green before he got sacked. They were really similar to what he's been saying as manager of us. A bit untoward and a bit over the top, and that's probably why he did get sacked. Yeah, so his probably worst 3 decisions, as I say, definitely the signings of Quigley and Cornick, joined by Muldoon in second, and in third, his decision making of what he says after the games. I'll move on to Darren Stock. He says, what score would have been the true reflection on yesterday's game? I'd say 3-1 is probably be a fair one. I mean, if Cody scored his chance, that's 1 goal for us. We didn't create anything apart from that. We had 2 shots on target, and the 2 shots on target, weren't anything that really troubled the keeper too much. And you can't take away nothing from Charlton's 3 goals. They were deserved, and there's a reason why they won 3-0 yesterday. So yeah, that was probably what I'd say is a fair reflection on the game yesterday. We didn't deserve to win anything. Possession in our half, second half, and Charlton's first third, it isn't going towards them and trying to get back into the game. It's just easy for Charlton. They sat back and knew they had the game sewn up at half time anyway. So yeah, that's probably what I'd say would be a fair reflection on the game, the scoreline yesterday. Last but not least, Darren Chandler. He says, is it more of the case of Dak hating Pennock than wanting out of Gills? I don't think Dak likes Pennock. I think that's been visible to see on and off the pitch. I may remember a few home games back, Pennock made some substitutions. Dak was standing in the centre circle, shaking his head and throwing his arms about, thinking, and you just know he's standing on the pitch thinking, what the fuck are you doing? Like as we all do in the stands week in, week out, wondering what Pennock's doing, because we ain't got a clue. We all know he hasn't got a clue either. But I think Dak's frustrated. I think I think that's his sign of Dak caring. He knows what should be happening at this football club. He knows where we should be, and obviously under this manager, we're not performing well. We're not doing anything really that good, and obviously Dak isn't going to, react any differently, especially when he's being played out of position like he was yesterday. So, and being bombarded in the press when he got suspended against them from MK Dons and getting fined 2 weeks' wages. I think it's like the same with most players. I don't think Pennock's got their utmost respect. As you say, as with Dak, as I said off the pitch, you've only got to go through his likes on Twitter and just see what he thinks of Pennock and what this season's been. I think that is it's more the case of Adrian Pennock being the thorn in our side. He's not when you're playing like we are and in the situation we are, I think the manager's a key factor in whether we perform well or not. And we're not performing well. We're not doing well, and that's going to rub off on the players. And that is it's probably hitting Dak hardest the most. As I said earlier, he was Player of the Year last year, League One Player of the Year, our Player of the Year, and he's now being managed by a bloke who hasn't got an absolute clue on anything to do with football. And that is why we are in the situation we are. That's why we've won 4 games out of 19 under Pennock, because of that reason. So that is the end of the questions. A bit of a sour one this week. Obviously, people are going to be downbeat about Charlton yesterday. A bit worried about Fleetwood Saturday, and then once it's all over, we go to Northampton on that final day, and hopefully we don't need anything and we just go there, have a good day, and hopefully beat Edinburgh. That'll be the end of it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all later.